Welcome back to another epidose of these crazy people that just eat meat and can't stop talking about it. It's been a while, but we're back and planning on making this a regular gig. In fact, I think next week we'll have another somebody else with us, another familiar face. But in the meantime, let's get caught up with Justin. Justin, what's been going on? It's been like a year.
Yeah, so three jobs and a car accident later kind of thing, surprisingly, because it's a throwback to the first time I was ever on with you. We talked about me having a car accident, and here we are about 5 years later and talking about a car accident.
Well, we all got to have a hobby.
Right, apparently that one's mine. Yeah,
Yeah.
totaled another car. Um, that wasn't fun. I've had a few different jobs. So I've worked at a psychiatric hospital. That was really interesting.
Yeah, you
The
had some good
pay,
stories from that job.
yeah, the pay was amazing. But it was a psychiatric hospital. I worked at a smaller mental health clinic as well, with a high, what we'd be called like a high acuity population. That was really interesting. And I'm currently doing social work, helping people pay their bills. So kind of a pretty wide gambit of different things I've been doing. And with each transition, my lunch or my eating regimen has also changed. So at the hospital, I was making really good money, and I worked swing shift. So I was 3 to 11. Swing shift is actually my preferred shift. If there's any shift I'd like to work, it's actually swing shift.
Yeah, because you get
Um,
to, well, I mean, for me, I'd be getting to the office when there's no traffic and leaving the office when there was no traffic. That'd be awesome.
right, right. And so I was making really good money. So I'd wake up, I'd cook breakfast, I'd have like ground beef, eggs, bacon, like just like kind of, because I didn't go in until 3, so I could still like fast till like noon or so or 11 and have breakfast and still have like extra time.
Hmm.
Um, and then I had steaks pre-prepared for work. I would take a steak to work, have a steak at around 7 or 8 or so, depending on what was going on. And steak is a great food to be able to eat while answering phone calls.
Hmm.
Um, it's not that cumbersome. I mean, maybe something like fries or potato chips, but they can hear you chewing, right? Whereas like munching on a steak, it's pretty silent comparatively.
The quiet
Uh,
food.
the quiet food. There you go. The healthy, quiet food. And, everyone was like tripped out that it just would always bring steak. Justin, what are you having? Just steak, just steak. At the smaller clinic, let me think. When I first started, so there I worked 10 to 8, 4 days a week. So I was doing 4 tens. Um, I think I just had like burgers, like ground beef for lunch pretty much, and I would just come home and have a steak for dinner after.
Mhm.
Um, but then towards the end of that job, I started putting in more hours, and so I was doing like a protein shake, and then I would come home and eat maybe. So that was kind of it. And now currently at my job, so current work schedule is Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesdays is 8 to 4:30. Wednesday is 8 to 8. Thursday is 8 to 4:30. Friday is 8 to 4:30. And Saturday is 8 to noon. So still 40 hours, but just broken up interesting way. And so my 8 to 4 out days, I just bring like a couple burger patties and I'm good. And I get to come home, plenty of time to have dinner and spend time with my kid. But on that 12-hour day, I bring a protein shake and I bring a couple of burgers
Hmm.
and kind of what else is there just to and I typically eat it all at once. Originally when I
Really?
started packing, I was like, oh, maybe I'll have the protein shake at around noon and then I'll eat the burgers at like 6 or 7.
Hmm.
Um, it just turned out that I didn't have that kind of time. So on like my hour quote unquote lunch break, I'm usually like chugging the shake and then which takes me a little bit, and then I eat the burgers. And I'm full like the rest of the day. I mean, I come home a little hungry, but at that point, I'd much rather sleep than eat because I've got to
Hmm.
get up at 8 the next morning, you know? Um,
Well, you got to get up to be at work by 8.
right, got to get
Yeah.
up to be at work by 8 the
Right.
next morning after doing a 12-hour day.
Gotcha.
So, it's pretty interesting. It's interesting because, we all work the same job and everyone has like their own dietary things. And uh, I actually work at a place that has a kitchen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because we serve a lunch and we serve a hot dinner on Wednesdays, and on Saturdays we serve breakfast. And
Mm.
the cooks know I'm all about the meat. And so uh, this past Wednesday they did a breakfast, and I just walked up there with the plate and was like, "Give me a 2.5 serving of egg and a 2.5 serving of sausage patties," and I was
Nice.
good. That was good, and so that's kind of cool that or if they do in burgers, I'll be like, just give me like 3 or 4 burger patties. There was a church group helping us out today, and outside they were cooking hot dogs, so I
Hmm.
was like, "Hey, can I have a few hot dogs?" And so they gave me a few hot dogs. The perks of working at a charity organization, a nonprofit, I suppose. Um,
Gotcha.
but my other coworkers, every morning they're coming in there like, I need my coffee, I need my coffee, I need my coffee. Which I know a lot of carnivores also drink coffee, but I feel like
Hmm.
if you're not carnivore, like you can't function until you've had coffee.
Mm. Yep. No, I used to drink coffee all the time too. So I
And
remember
then
those days.
And then I've seen a couple of them have like a scone and a bag of hot Cheetos in the morning. Um,
Yeah, how is it that people aren't healthy drinking coffee and Takis and flaming hot Cheetos and a can of Pringles? I don't understand why people aren't healthy.
yeah, yeah, I totally don't get it. Um, Another guy, he got chicken livers from this place called Go Chicken Go, but they were
Oh, is that a
fried in,
restaurant?
yeah, it's like a little fast food place around here.
Gotcha.
And I guess they're fried in seed oils, of course, and greasy and breaded and everything, you
Mhm.
know. And like halfway through it, he's like, I feel so sick to my stomach. He's like, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I was like, yeah, I think it's all those seed oils, man. Like messing with your guts. Oh, and of course, so we also have a food pantry where people get to come and get food. Like I said, charity organization. And for some reason, a highly donated food is Twinkies and donuts.
Mm.
Like so much so that the staff are encouraged to have Twinkies and donuts. So one of my coworkers grabbed like a pack of Zingers. And we were just sitting outside. I was having my burger, and he
Mhm.
opens the pack of Zingers. He eats one, and it's just like, I can't eat the rest. Like I need to give these to someone else. He's like, I'm not a kid anymore. And zingers are really good. I mean, it's like a highly addictive food.
What
Have you ever
is
had
it again?
a zinger? So the zinger is the chocolate Twinkie. So it's got
Oh,
chocolate frosting, and then how the pink the cake, right, of the Twinkie, and then it has filling like on the inside like whipped cream.
okay.
Yeah. So that's the
No,
zinger.
chocolate Twinkie with frosting on it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it kind of squarish on top?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I remember now.
Yeah. And he was looking at the back. He's like, this is 55% of my daily sugar intake. Like a thing of Twinkies. So it's interesting because I think people are more health conscious now. People are reading more packaging.
Hmm.
I think I think especially at this job, well, probably all the jobs I've been at, that stress eating. Like I really see it just they go for the
Hmm.
donuts. My boss every day has a Coca-Cola. There's a couple people I work with that like every day they have a Coke. It's not even a zero sugar Coke. It's like good old fashioned Coca-Cola. And I'm not advocating for Coke Zero, but I mean, it's probably bad for you in different
Probably a step
ways.
in the right direction, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, there's
Uh,
lots of people that do better if they just switch to diet soda. If you get, I was the kind of person who's like, I'd rather have no soda than diet soda. Although seltzer or something, just a regular seltzer, whatever, I'd much rather drink that than a diet soda. I never tasted a diet soda that I wanted to drink.
yeah, my mom was a huge Diet Coke person. And it's just like regular Diet Coke, just that taste just it always tasted horrible to me.
Well, you always meet that person who goes, "Oh, have you tried Diet Dr. Pepper? It's the best. It's the best of all. It's so good. I would drink it even though I could drink one that had actual sugar in it, and then you taste it and you're like, why? Why would you do this to yourself? It's awful. So, sorry, probably gonna get banned for bagging on diet soda. Probably gonna get a strike or something for beating up the soda companies, but
I do have a couple of cheats. So one cheat is at Sam's Club, they have it's basically vitamin water zero.
mm,
Um, but like it's 98% water. And I mean that literally because it's got like all the, I mean, have you ever drank vitamin water before back in the day?
mm,
So mostly it was like supposed to have like B vitamins and all that
yeah, yeah,
stuff, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So it has all that in it. It has like a stevia extract, but all those other ingredients are less than are 2% or less. So that means it's
Hmm.
like 98 or so percent water. Now I'm not, and it's colored, but it's not colored with like food coloring. It's colored with like vegetable juice or something. But like
Mm,
how much, it says zero carbs, zero sugar, zero calories, zero kind of everything. And they're pretty good. They're actually really good. And I don't seem to react to them or anything. But what's even better is Body Armor. So Body Armor makes a zero drink now. It's
mm,
also like a sports drink.
hmm,
Um, and that one is sweetened with monk fruit instead of stevia, which is kind of cool.
mm,
And those ones are really good. And they kind of same
yeah,
thing, sweetened with vegetable, 98% water, basically. For some reason, the Gatorade Zero, like it tastes good, but I think it
uh,
has too much artificial crap. I seem to kind of
mm.
not feel too good after drinking a Gatorade Zero.
I've had the Gatorade Zero like when it was really hot or start getting muscle cramps and there's nothing else around. And I didn't have any problems with it. So, but I could have that sitting around for months and months and months and not drink it too. So I must not like it that much. So, uh, yeah. But I will
Yeah.
drink the if there was one kryptonite for me, it's
Oh yeah.
the rain energy drink from I think it's actually made by Monster. It's one of their offshoots, kind of maybe a more premium. I do like that. There's a couple of flavors that are pretty banging. So, but they're
And my
like no sugar.
yeah. And then it's a new one, which if something kills me, it's gonna be this. So there's a company called Magic Spoon, which makes like low carb cereal. They came out with a
Low
like
carb
rice,
cereal.
yeah, like this company's called Magic Spoon, and they came out with a um low carb kind of crispy treat, kind of like there's a chocolate and
Like
peanut
Rice
butter,
Krispies.
like a Rice Krispie, yeah.
Mm,
It is amazing, sweetened with allulose. Actually, it's not
mm,
stevia, it's not monk
mm,
fruit, it's not
mm, mm.
erythritol, it's allulose. And lately the research in allulose has been coming out, and it seems to be pretty damn solid for now. Like
Interesting. You should bring up the alios. I don't know how it's said because
quinoa,
yeah, just like
quinoa.
canola, right? Yeah. The as somebody I know was like, "Hey, have you ever tried this carnivore ice cream?" They said that because when you make it with just cream, it gets rock hard, right? So it goes from rock hard to a puddle in a hurry. So it's never really like ice cream, but apparently you put the allulose in it, it Actually, it's the same thing as like putting sugar in it because it doesn't get hard. It stay keeps a certain softness to it, so you can at least scoop it. So I actually ordered some. I was gonna make ice cream with my friend. It just hasn't happened yet. But so I haven't actually tried the I think it's allulose, but I'm not sure.
Alios, yeah.
Yeah, but it's similar to monk fruit or um what else am I trying to think of? The one from birch trees, the erythritol and
Erythritol.
xylitol. It's similar to those from what I understand. So and they're all good, and I get it. For some people, that's the way to go, right? Is and that when you mentioned that Under Armour sweetened with monk fruit, same friend is used to drinking Sprite and looking for something that's not diet soda that tastes better, and that person likes the monk fruit. So I didn't know that there was a soda with monk fruit in it. Assumed it existed, but now that I know Under Armour does it, I'll have to steer her in that direction.
Yeah, the body armors are like a sports
Body
drink in a
armor, that's
sense,
what it is.
like a
Body armor.
Gatorade or
Mm.
something. And here's the thing, I'm not obviously not advocating for people to make a diet out of body armor and Magic Spoon crispy treats. Like
No?
no, no, that's not what I'm advocating for.
Yeah.
Um, I'm simply exposing what I'm legitimately eat, what I like, and I'm still carnivore because 98% of the time it's ground beef, it's cheese, and it's a steak. Like
Mm.
98% of my diet, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and that I still enjoy it to this day.
Give give me a rough idea how many steaks you eating in a week.
Seven. I try to eat seven, at least seven, seven, nine,
How many
between
pounds
seven.
of ground beef in a week? Just ballpark.
Um, it's got to be close to like seven, I suppose, like a pound a day of ground beef and then a
Mm.
steak. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
that's pretty good. So like, yeah, I'm probably eating still close to 2 pounds of meat a day. That's what makes me feel happiest. You know, I've done fasting. I'm starting to. I've maybe 2 months now into the gym again, and it's starting to feel really good actually.
Nice.
That first month was kind of rough. My body was like, "What are you doing?" But it's starting to feel pretty comfortable, and I'm starting to feel really good and really excited to get up and
Yeah.
go. Even though like I was pretty tired today, but I was like, I'm going. The baby's asleep. I'm gonna go to the gym, you know. And I spent like 45 minutes, an hour there, and so that was really nice. And uh but fasting, just not thinking about it, not trying it, it's like I'm hungry, but if I don't eat, I don't gonna feel like I'm not gonna live. You know? It's
Yeah.
just like I can eat later, or I'll just eat more later, you know. And that seems to work the same as eating right then and there. For the most part, I'm still doing 2 meals a day. Like I said, about 2 pounds a day. Cheese, I like the occasional glass of milk. I like some
How
carnivore
many
ice cream.
how
Go
about
ahead.
eggs? How many eggs you eating in a week?
Well, for sure five, but well, wait, let me put that back. Probably closer to like 12 a pack, just because of the eggs I get at my work. You
Hmm.
know, if they're cooking eggs and sausage or eggs and bacon, like I'm up there with my plate, you know,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
beggar. I'm
Oh
like
yeah.
free eggs, and you know, I don't care that I get it. It's a charity place, so it's run of the mill eggs. Like it ain't, it's not organic. It's not pasture fed. It's what's donated to the place. They're not. I don't think there's a grant that you can get to go buy like a bunch of eggs, right? So but I eat them. They always make them scrambled, which is my favorite way to have eggs. Now they're probably throwing olive oil or some or vegetable oil in them to cook them. I'm not gonna lie, you know. Um,
Maybe, yeah.
but it's like okay, having vegetable oil, let's say at worst twice a week, but the rest of the time everything is animal fats. how much damage is that? I don't know. Does that compound?
Yeah, I think
I
most people would be fine with that. I don't think it's gonna, even long term, I don't think that'd bother most people. And I mean, how
yeah,
much vegetable oil do you think there is in, a couple servings of scrambled eggs? Probably not that much. It's probably just on the grill, right?
right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen them just crack open all the eggs and then stir them up because,
Hmm.
we're serving to the general public, so we have to watch out for like allergens and, there's not even I think salt and pepper even in the eggs. It's just plain eggs, no cheese, which is my number one complaint. Like,
Huh.
you gotta get some throw some cheese on these eggs. Um, kind of a fun
BYOC.
kind of a fun thing that I've been doing. So, I do take clients that we serve up to the food pantry. And of course, the food pantry, we could do an entire episode on that. So I'll save that for another episode. But recently we got cheese and butter.
Hmm.
And so I had a client up there and I was like, oh, we got butter over there. And she grabbed the margarine, right? And I was just like, hey, just to let you know, that's margarine. We also got butter. And she's like, oh, no, I wanted butter. And so she put the margarine back and grabbed the butter. And I was like,
Nice.
internally, I was like, yes,
Small
getting
victories.
yeah, and the margarine has kind of sat there. People prefer butter. I think people just prefer butter. I think margarine has kind of fallen out of fashion,
Yeah.
unless maybe it's for industrial use. But I think in homes, I think it's more butter. I hope anyway. That's at least what I've been seeing with
Hmm.
the clients I work with. They've been choosing the butter. And we've got canned chicken. So I always tell them, hey, you could throw some cheese, some butter, some of that canned chicken. There you go. That's all you need.
Yeah. Well, I haven't made chili in a long time. Not too long ago, I cra destroyed one of my crock pots, so probably not going to make chili anytime soon. I kind of burned out. I made it a different way all the time, and eventually you could, realize I'm not that excited about it. So, because I was pretty much just cooked ground beef with leftover steak in it and a little bit of seasoning. But I do pork baby back ribs all the time. Again, I do them in the crock pot, and so usually have ribs, um, steak, of course. I've been eating the sirloin tip steak. I've been actually been buying the roast and cutting it into steaks. It's about the leanest cut of meat I can find right now. And I'm still doing steak and eggs for breakfast. So, and then shrimp, of course. I have shrimp pretty much every day. So you eat about, well, I take a 2 pound bag and divide it into 3 servings. So do the math. I don't, that's going to be something like, forget how many grams. Probably something like two to 300 grams of shrimp a day. So I still love that. And then intermittently, I will do like protein shake, especially, I commute all the time. So I'm in the car. So when I don't have food, I will drink the whey isolate, I've been adding a lot of collagen and stuff like that, and egg whites. Stuff like that is my like backup food that I carry around. So, but still doing a lot of just steak and ground beef. Oh, and the latest thing is to take the ground beef and mix in blue cheese, and then make a patty out of it. And then sometimes make the patty into like a cup and crack an egg in it, cook it that way. That's been happening a lot lately. So I bought an air fryer. I had an oven that was supposed to be a small oven, like kind of like a giant toaster oven. It was supposed to be um like an air fryer, but it really doesn't move the air around very well, so it really didn't work like an air fryer. And it was really hard to clean on the inside, so I really got tired of it. So my thing was I didn't want to just keep buying stuff. So I've been getting rid of a lot of stuff, and then I finally was like, yeah, I've gotten rid of enough stuff to say. could justify, getting a new appliance. So I bought one that has a huge basket on it. It's like 10 inches square. So you can do 4 quarter pound to third of a pound patties in it at a time. You can do an entire package of thick cut bacon in there at a time. And I can even fit the baby back ribs in there. So if I cut the the racks in half, they'll fit in there and I can put them in the air fryer. So I've been doing all kinds of experiments with the air fryer. And actually, the one that was most interesting was putting 2 dozen eggs in there and cooking them like a hard boiled egg, and they came out perfect. It was 2 dozen cold eggs, the large eggs, fit in the bottom of this thing, standing up. Turn it on for 15 minutes at 350, and they came out perfect. And like the shells slide right off, and then the yolk is a perfect bright yellow. So I don't know. So it's kind of like if you don't have a good, sometimes you can go buy the hard boiled eggs and you get a good deal on them or whatever. Um, this is probably the next most convenient thing if you want a lot of hard boiled eggs. Just put them in the air fryer. So then we'll start doing film some video of cooking again. So I think that'll help people. People are always looking for recipes, and I'm hoping that we can start just writing down some not recipe slash cooking instructions, real quick stuff. Because I'm not nothing I do is elaborate. Everything for me is about getting it done quickly. I don't use hardly any seasoning anymore. I just don't care about it anymore. I don't have anything against seasoning per se. But the longer I do this, the less interested. I don't even put salt on my food anymore, which I know is heresy because a lot of people are like, lion diet, you gotta eat steak and salt and water, and that's it. So, anyways, I don't hardly season anything anymore. So, well, I guess if you count cheese as seasoning, I always kind of did. I always thought cheese was more of a seasoning than a food group. So, mixing in, I mean, when you make, let's say you make a third pound beef patty, and you're gonna mix in like a tablespoon of blue cheese crumbles. It's a very small amount of cheese. And some people don't do dairy, some people don't tolerate cheese. I get it. But it adds a nice flavor to it. So that's kind of it. I have plenty of seasonings around. And I just find myself not. If I'm going to do anything, it's going to be hot sauce, some kind. Like a Tabasco Chipotle or some Tapatio or something like that.
We're well, you're still in, but I'm from Southern California, and guacamole and salsa still close to my heart. You know, I'm part Latin, so it's a hard one. So every once in a while, I get a hankering for some guac and some salsa on some steak, and
Mm.
it is bomb with some
Yeah, I won't turn
cheese.
down an avocado. Haven't seen too many lately, but yeah, no. You grow up with that. It's like I don't know. Should I say this publicly? We have a friend that lives in another country, and it was mango season. He's like, "What do you have to understand? It's mango season. I'm going to have mangoes." So yeah, it's our mango. It's the
Uh-huh.
avocado.
The avocado. Yeah.
Yep. So, anyways, but it's going good. I'm still getting leaner, still lifting more, still lifting just about every day. So, most weeks I lift 7 days a week. Sometimes, stuff happens and you miss a day here and there, but uh, still enjoying it every day. Still, everything's getting better, at least physically. I mean, that's the thing. When you get the diet dialed in right and you start whatever your fitness thing is, whether it's walking, underwater basket weaving, a lot of times that's the only thing that's going good. Everything else is out of your control. Well, what you put in your mouth and what you do with whatever free time you have, that you can still control. And sometimes the only thing that's working out the way you want it to. So there's always that. And I always feel like I go to the when I'm prepping my food, because I prep, that's another thing I'll talk more about. I prep almost all my meals on the weekend because I am busy. Everything goes into glass containers with locking lids and everything's ready to rock. I even prep my dog's meals. so so all that stuff gets worked out ahead of time. I do all my shopping in one go, pretty much. Sometimes that doesn't work out for whatever reason, but everything is sort of planned and designed to be efficient. And I think that's kind of the trick because if you already are prepared with the correct food, you're much less likely to eat the wrong food, right? And a lot of people, because there's a lot of questions in autistic carnivores on Facebook, and it's like trying to help the kids change how they eat. And it's like, well, just ask them to eat the stuff they should eat first. Because a lot of times that settles the cravings, or, and they wind up eating less or not eating the food that they're not supposed to eat at all. So, in life in general, everything's not going well. You can't control all kinds of things. If you got your food all prepped and, or at least planned out and ready to rock, then you're less likely to fall prey to the inconveniences and the setbacks of the things you can't control. So
Yeah, you might end up eating chicken gizzards from Go Chicken Go. Not feeling too
there
good.
you go. I mean, there's sort of the sliding scale because it's always like everybody's been caught out, and it's like, well, what's open, what's available, what's the least off the menu thing that I can eat, I mean, fortunately here we got In and Out, so you can, and a lot of other restaurants where you can just go buy beef patties if that's what you want. But have you seen that line at In and Out? It can be discouraging, especially at lunchtime. So
And, let's not forget, the great Kelly Hogan, right? She did this diet on McDonald's patties pretty much almost exclusively for her first like year, 2 years while she was still a music teacher.
yeah, and she's not the only one. I mean, she probably inspired a lot of people to do it because it's a good way to get started. But there's lots and lots of people that have done it off of, fast food patties, and there's a lot of places too. I started asking places like, hey, can I order scrambled eggs? Because a lot of times you don't see that on a menu, but a lot of the burger places, they're like, yeah, you can order scrambled eggs whenever you want, but it's not necessarily
Oh,
listed on the menu, right? So that's another thing. It's like, oh, and then, you find out some of the places the chili is pretty clean, right? It's just meat chili, Texas style chili,
yeah.
then that's pretty, if you tolerate the seasonings, okay, then, that's another thing. So a lot of places will be happy to sell it to you.
And a hot dog is a hot dog. You don't have to worry about the nitrates and things like that. Is actually not a concern. There's
Well,
plenty
better
of
to eat a hot dog than what was the chocolate Twinkie called again?
zinger.
Zinger. Better to eat a hot dog than a zinger.
Yeah.
Are we going to get sued by Hostess?
They're not around anymore, or they got bought by someone else.
Oh, okay. Are we
Or
going
they
to get
should.
bought by whoever bought them?
Yeah, I guess so.
Mm.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully, Oscar Mayer will fund us.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Nathan. What's another one?
Nathan's
Ballpark.
ballpark. I do like a good hot dog. I mean, hot dogs. I
Yeah.
throw hot dogs in my steak. Like you
Yeah.
can shoot me, but I mean, they that adds a little something. Just
Sure.
when I'm like, oh man, I feel like this isn't enough food, I'll just throw a hot dog in the pan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a good
it's
backup food
great.
for sure.
Yeah. And hey, you're eating nose to tail if you eat a hot dog.
Yeah, it's pretty much got everything but hoof in it. The
Tom,
guy,
have you had a delicious nose recently?
I'm probably had some in the form of some sort of hot dog slash sausage for sure. I mean, I had some pork franks. They're quite good. Can only imagine there's some snout in there. Why not? They got to go
Why not?
somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, we're just about out of time. We got time constraints, but we got our first video in like a year under the belt. So let's hope to keep it rolling. Maybe you can shoot some film while you're cooking. We'll upload some files, go over them, and then hope find a home for cooking instructions, recipe type stuff. Some people are looking for ways to get her done. They got some resources to fall back on.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great to give to the community. And I'm noticing that the keto slash carnivore product line is expanding. There's, you go to a
Oh yeah.
grocery store and there's just more and more options. There's a
Hmm.
great garlic butter that I found recently at Hy-Vee, which has like nothing in it except for the garlic, the cream, and the salt, which is pretty awesome.
Nice. Well, good for you.
Mm,
Good for Ivy.
mm.
It's good seeing you again. I mean, it's
You
not
too,
like we
Tom.
haven't been in touch, but we haven't done a video in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while. Again, leave your comments, like and subscribe. Pass this along to your friends and your enemies. If you know a vegan, certainly pass it on to them. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and have them send all their hate mail to Justin.
Yeah, yeah, we'll keep that up. There we go.
All right. Well, until next time, it was good seeing you, buddy. Let's make this a regular thing again.
Yeah, we'll bring it back.
All right, buddy. I'll talk at you soon.
And no matter what you do,
No matter where you go, don't fall
fall
down
down the
the
carb
carb
hole.